everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Argo 37 and Beyond. Before we go around and say hello to everyone, please take a moment to check out our opening links. Here you can find all of our things, if I can remember how to spell. You can find merch. We had some new merch put up just a couple of weeks ago. Also, we've got all of our Discord, Twitter, YouTube, all the cool stuff. Come and check us out. Come and hang out with us and communicate with us. If you want a game, you can find ways to find games there as well. All that good stuff. Also check out our sponsors, Mage Hand Press and Bird in the Storm Publishing, who we're both very grateful to. I see Mage Hand Press in the chat now because they make this all possible. So thank you. Also check out the tweet, which I haven't updated. So I'll go and update the tweet whilst Alice takes over the introduction and I do all of the things I should have done whilst we were waiting.
Yeah, that's all good. I can do that. So first of all, let's say hi to the lovely V, the Crafting Muse. Oh, hi.
Hi everyone, I'm V, the Crafting Muse. You can find me over on YouTube. Today I am playing Lara Gibbous. She is come back to Argo. She is a little perplexed. We've traveled through time before, but not this much. I'm really excited to see what we're going to do today.
Perfect, thank you. Then we're going to hop down and say hi to Crusade. I can't even speak today. Crusade Wall to say that instead, yeah. Oh, hi.
Hey everybody, how are you? I'm Todd from Warlords Crusade. I play Vega Reigns, test pilot crash dummy extraordinaire. You can find me at Crusade Warlords on Twitter, or you can find my armor, my leatherwork, I'm an armorsmith by trade at warlordscrusade.com. Other than that, excited to be here. I've learned to come to not expect any one thing in this game after 2 episodes, so minimal shock factor today, hopefully, but probably a lot.
Perfect, thank you. And then we're going to hop over to Jess. Oh, hi.
Hi, fancy seeing you here. Yeah, I'm Jess. I'm playing Andy. She was not around last week. I like to, in my headcanon is that she like goes on science benders and then just needs to sleep for like, a day or 2 straight. So yeah, I'm assuming she was resting or sciencing. But I'm excited to be back.
Perfect, thank you. And last but certainly not least, if the tweet is updated, Scrat.
The tweet is updated, I'll just put it in chat now. I've been playing Blister. Blister finally unleashed the chaos of the Wizmos. Well, actually just the chaos of Blister, to be honest, because the Wizmos weren't around. Just to show Vega what it's all about, I guess. And I'm really excited to get going with that and just carry on moving forwards, maybe now we can start helping him out a bit more.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So we find ourselves, we're actually going to hop straight to Andy. And Andy, you're waking up in your room. You've had a complete science bender and you're out. You've had one of the best night's sleeps because of it. But as you do sort of wake up, there's no sound. And you're not used to that on Argo. There's normally you can hear Blister somewhere, or Telemachus doing something, Ilara probably screaming at Blister. Something is normally happening. But instead, you hear a knock at your door.
Hello?
Hello! This is the cleaning service. Can we please come in and clean your room and turn down your bed sheets?
And you can hear that, like, nasally little voice from the other side.
Hold on, 1 second. She's like, her room is probably a mess. She like jumps out of bed, makes sure she has something on, throws a bunch of things in drawers, and then is like, okay, you can come in now. Hi.
And the door opens, and this gnome walks in, followed by 4 other gnomes, all in high-vis jackets and sort of like all-in-one cleaning suits. Some of them have their hair like tied back. Some of them have got a mask over their face. Some of them have like carry cases with what looks like different cleaning materials. I'm not too sure. Some of them are bubbling. Some of them have them strapped across them with these like belts with all these little different glass orbs with different coloured liquids sort of bubbling in them. It's like,
oh, I am so sorry to disturb your rest. Your crew left earlier and we were left to clean the ship.
But did we sign up for some sort of decontamination that I missed?
No, there is nothing infectious that we know of yet, and we're assured there was none on this vehicle.
can make no promises in that room, and points to where Blister stays. You might want to be careful over there.
So they sort of look. One of them turns back to this other gnome that seems to be looking very wild-haired, and it's just like,
Jojo, you're up.
and this gnome sort of laughs and sort of like you can hear it hustle its way over towards where you directed Blister's room to be. This other one steps forward, is like,
Just so you are aware, we found some mischievous robot type things that kept trying to steal our things and interrupt our progress. So we have locked them in a box. They are on the on deck. I hope that is okay. We believe we got all of them.
I guess that's fair for now, as long as you're gonna let them out when you're done.
Oh, of course. It is more that they were stealing our equipment and pouring the detergent everywhere.
Yeah, they do that. And lots of other stuff, too. Yeah, okay. Well, do you know where my friends are? I guess I should go find them.
They disembarked the ship about,
it sort of looks down,
3 to 4 hours ago.
Ah, okay. I guess I'll go find them. And, yeah, thank you.
No problem.
and you sort of see them salute, and you suddenly realize as they almost skate off, you realize they've got sponge-like things tied to their feet as they sort of glide down the corridor, cleaning the floor as they go. You can leave your room and you can make your way. You hear some form of chaos coming from a box near the entrance, and it's jumping, sort of throwing itself.
I go over and just like tap on the box, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I think they'll let you out soon. Just hang on a little bit. Just, entertain yourselves for a while.
You hear like the beeping and the whirring, and you do hear like some banging on like the lid of this box, and the box is physically jumping.
Oh boy.
And you can see where one gnome looks like they've taken off like their belt and tied it to one of the bars, which is probably a good thing that they have.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad, but also it's kind of fair, so, so. All right. And then I'll go double check that no one's in like the science room or anything like that, and then I'll go find my friends.
Yeah, you can actually see like a thing that says quarantine across there for cleaning, and one of those little yellow like signs that say slippery floor as you walk past. You can see a Wizmo in there. You're not too sure how it got in there, but it's
that's fine. That one can be loose. That's it's if he managed not to get caught, then good on them.
Fair game.
Yeah, it's all fair game. The ones they caught stay in the box. The ones they didn't.
And you can walk down the gangplank, and you're in this huge air hangar. It's absolutely massive. You can see lots of other ships, almost all lined up, uniformly next to each other, all parked in spaces. You can see little painted squares around certain ships to indicate parking spots. You can see these amoebas, these strange amoebas that are glowing different colors as they guide other ships into land. And there's lots of people here going backwards and forth. This doesn't seem to be there doesn't seem to be any checks or anything like that. It's just people coming and going. You can see what looks like almost like a force field, like a purpley blue force field before you enter a corridor into what you can guess is Titan's port.
Okay. Well, first, Andy clicks a little thing, and a visor goes across her eyes, and she's looking at the amoeboys, and then still walking towards where she's supposed to go. So she's kind of turning and walking, and her head is kind of tracking, and she's probably about to bump into something, but then sort of shakes it and maybe starts looking to see if she can find out where Telemachus and maybe Alara are.
You can see when you're
the adults of the group,
the adults of the group. When you're looking at these amoeboids, you can pick up their age, you can pick up all the details and stuff like that with your visor as you sort of look across at them. But otherwise, they're pretty clear. You can actually see what their job is and stuff like that as it pops up on a register, which you can assume is probably facilitated by the port.
Oh.
And you see this force field, and you see this huge bird, almost eagle-like creature, standing very, very tall, past 6 foot. It stands there in this sort of black and green uniform, very proudly. These claw-like hands, but with wings attached, with a sort of a clear screen, just checking each person as they go through.
She definitely does the same thing where she's trying to proceed forward, but her like eyes are on this like interesting new person, and then is like, gotta keep going.
As you approach the force field to walk in, he's like, please extend your arms outright in such position so we can receive a full scan. And you walk through. You don't feel anything. You might feel like a slight tingle, like you can hear the static, and it just says, "Welcome to Titan's Port."
Thank you.
No one else seems to hear this. You notice that you don't actually hear this voice when anyone else walks through, so you can assume it goes straight into your mind rather than anything else.
Cool.
And you can walk down this corridor, and there are all manner of creatures and people walking back and forth, some going back to their ships, some coming into the port. You see lots of food places, lots of shops. You see these very holographic plants that seem to like judder every now and then when someone accidentally walks through one of them, and a fountain at the center.
Okay. Well, I feel like Telemachus and Alara would be doing useful things. So if there's any like useful supply stores, they would be there. But then Blister would be at a bar. So if I look for like a bar, I might find them.
Could you roll a perception check?
Okay.
For me, please? Yeah. You sort of scan the area, and with the help of your visor, it sort of picks up on, you can see the visor probably has a little bit of Argo downloaded into it, picked up the sort of silhouettes almost, these blue silhouettes of Telemachus, Alara, Vega, and Blister, who seem to be walking actually in your direction.
Okay, great. And I'll start walking jauntily towards them.
And the rest of you can see Andy approaching.
Oh, hi guys! Did you know that there are people cleaning our ship?
Yes, we arranged it.
Were
they okay?
Yeah, they had most of the Wismos caught in a box.
Most of them?
Yeah, I figured I wouldn't tell them about the one I saw that was loose, cause good job, little guy.
Right.
But most of them were in a box, and they seemed to be cleaning, and I gave them some warnings, and they seem fine. They understand. They seem prepared.
And they stayed in the box.
Oh yeah, they had them roped down and everything.
So they're all in the ship? Oh, they're all accounted for? All right.
Oh, I couldn't count them. They were in a box.
This makes me so nervous. I'm not usually nervous.
Yes, maybe we should go and just check things out.
Thinks we were heading there anyway.
I feel like if we can manage to count them whilst still in the box, that would be preferred, because the second we open the box, we're not going to be able to count them anymore.
Don't you have those goggles that can scan?
Yeah, I think maybe. It depends on what the box is made out of. I didn't have it on.
Don't you have a tracker on them?
We do have a tracker on them.
Yep.
You do, however, know on Argo, because Argo does not fund high-level trackers, that if they're closer together, they sort of appear as one big blob on the screen.
Hey, Voltron.
I'm gonna type to Cracklebox and just ask if he's still on the ship.
You get a series of beeps and whirs back, and you get like a little hologram pop up of Cracklebot, which seems to be with one Wizmo on top of another and another and another sort of round as he's sort of trying to like make hand gestures but doesn't really go anywhere, and it fades out. You can guess he's in the box.
Well, we were heading there anyway, right? So let's shall we carry on?
Yes, better be safe than sorry, and just make sure they're all there in one way or another.
Andy, this place is fascinating if you want to go sightseeing. An hour later.
I really do.
And Telemachus, you can hear that through the straw again, that and she's finishing off her milkshake. And she sort of she has another one, and she's like, I got you one. And she hands it over to Andy. And what color would you like this to be?
Like bright pink.
Yeah, it's bright pink. It looks to be full of little bubbles, almost, and but all the bubbles are different colors. And you can probably guess they are different flavors from this, and some sort of like candy floss, cotton candy, that sort of seems to be like piled up on the top with this straw that goes all the way through.
It's really good. You're gonna get a real sugar rush though.
And you can see like Telemachus is pretty wide-eyed. And she looks to the others. She's like, I did order supplies, and holds up her wrist. So,
They're gonna deliver them straight to the ship. We just need to load them on.
Nice. Okay, that's great. And like Andy takes it and starts like almost like eating / drinking it in very small bits to almost taste and test every element, like see if each different colored ball is a different material and taste than like everything else, and like stops and ponders it for a moment.
each one tastes like a different dessert, not a flavor, but like you have apple pie, creme brulee, chocolate fondant, like things like that. As you go through, like the overall, the actual sort of pink is like a strawberry milkshake type flavor, and then all the balls themselves, they're not individual flavors but actual meal dessert flavors.
Oh my gosh, technology has taken us so far.
I'm gonna start heading to the ship.
Your Laura will follow.
Yep, following.
Is Ballista following?
Aye.
Yeah. You can all start walking towards the ship. You pass back through the that sort of boundary, that shield that just says, "Thank you for visiting. Please come again." And as you pass through, you see that huge bird-like creature stood there. And he just gives you a nod. You can see that ruffle of the feathers as he moves. And you can see Argo. You can see two gnomes. Both of them seem to have these like hover boot type things on, so they're levitating in the air with these very long like mops as they're cleaning Argo from the top and from the bottom, as you can see them moving. But the gangplank is down, and you can go up.
Can I go up to one of the gnomes and inquire about their little hover device?
Mm-hmm. As you sort of look to one of them, they look down and you see them press like a button on one of their belts, and they slowly hover back down. Hello!
Hi, where could, because they're gnomes, they're smaller, right?
Oh yeah.
Where could I find perhaps a smaller hover device like that? Not a pair of boots, but something that would allow something to hover. Can I just buy one of your boots?
These are company policy. If I don't return these, it's not covered in my insurance.
Well, how much are they?
I don't know. It's part of the outfit.
Like, if you sort of look at this whole thing, which has like these neon light bands around the things,
I mean, you can ask my boss.
Oh, well, where's your boss at?
And he points back over towards the big eagle-like creature.
All right, so I'll go over to him.
Yeah, you can wander over to him, and he's like, "Hello."
Hi, I was wanting to inquire about one of those little hover devices that make the gnomes hover. Maybe something smaller. I don't need a pair of boots, but just some sort of something that would allow a small object to hover.
He sort of nods and looked at you. Think it's not because he's not wanting to talk to you, he's just very slow, like he's processing the information, and he looks to his glass sort of like sheet. He's like, you can program one of the microchips that we put in the boots. If you wish to have one of those, it will be 3 credits, and I will have to send it to your ship. I'm afraid I do not have one on me.
I will take one, please. And I will give him the little card.
Yeah, he sort of takes it, just puts it against his wrist, and then hands it back. I will send it in with your supplies.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
No problem. And then he squawks randomly and starts walking off down the other end of the platform.
I've had better conversations with Cracklebox. All right, so I'll just head back to the ship.
Yep, you can head on to the ship. Are the rest of you heading on?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Telemachus has wandered straight on and resumed her seat on the bridge, just sort of finishing off her milkshake. You can see about 4 gnomes that seem to be having sponges on their feet, sort of gliding around the hallways with mops, doing the ceiling as well. You also see a mild bit of smoke coming from Blister's room, and this other gnome slowly exits and walks out after that as well. But the smoke seems to be like a very floral smell, almost like it's a very intense smoke bomb that lets off and allows a Febreze like scent.
Oh no, what have they done?
I think they removed your scent, dear.
I think they had to burn your clothes.
There were
Pretty sure it
clothes
was
in there.
I'm gonna go to head to the box where the Wismos are.
You
Yeah.
can
Doing
see
the
this.
same.
Yeah, you can both wander over. You see this box violently throwing itself everywhere. It's attached by this belt on this pole, and like the box is now, Andy will be able to tell the box is now upright rather than flat, which was not what it was before. And you can hear a massive beeping and whirring. And this looks to be like a solid metal box. Probably why a lot of scans can't necessarily go in, not because it's meant to not be scanned. It's literally just a simple old school, almost like a black box. Actually, it's probably like a black box, which is why it's very, very protected.
So, do you want to hold the box and I'll unbuckle, or I'll hold the box, you unbuckle?
Hey, how much longer are you guys gonna be with your sponge shoes?
And the gnomes just sort of, you see one of them swirl round a couple of times and land at your face. Like,
I'm sorry, we will only be another hour or so.
and they sort of takes off again.
Are you
down.
done in this room? Hey, Speedy, are you done in this room?
Sort of stop.
Actually, my name is Francis, and yes, we are.
All right, thanks, Mike. I'm gonna shut the door behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Lock this room. All
Yep.
His name was Francis.
right. What?
His name was Francis 88.
Oh, what did I say?
Mike.
Oh, all right. These guys gonna flip out? Have they ever been like confined like this before?
You are watching the box, correct?
I mean, I would be flipping out too if I was in the box. I would be much happier once I was let out. If I wouldn't, well, maybe I would go run and attack the closest thing.
Better to get them out so they don't create more trouble in the box.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're your thing. I know Crackle's in there, and I want to get him out of there. So
Oh, they're not mine. They're blisters.
perfect. All right, let's get it open.
Is it possible to scan and count the box while it's still closed? Like,
I tell you what, make a perception check for me because they are moving as well.
okay. It's
Oh
not gonna.
God, this is like counting toddlers in a playpen.
Okay, you reckon there's about 23 in there.
Okay. From what I can see, there might be 23, but they're also very wiggly.
Well, 23 is closer to what you said with seeing the one out and about.
Yeah. So, okay. Just so we know. Because I feel like once we let them out, it's going to be harder to count them. So,
All right, kids, we're all home now. We're gonna let you out.
I need. Hang on. So is Alara and Vega opening?
We
this
can,
box?
yeah.
If you do, I need strength checks from whoever's opening.
Okay.
Andy's backing up.
He's backing up.
And also protecting any delicates nearby.
I'm fairly sure Blister's just walked towards his room.
Oh,
Very
jeez.
nervous.
This is so not Alara-like.
Oh wow.
That's so not you.
How'd I do? I can't stop.
Yeah.
Better than I
Pretty much. So basically, Alara, you're holding on to this box as Vega goes and lifts up the heavy latches because they look like they've been secured down. And Vega, you manage to open the lid, but as you do, the whole box jolts, and Alara, you can't keep hold of it. And it's like this wave of Wizmos comes tumbling out, and you see them just flee in every direction. You see some of them seem to now be attached to each other, and they're trying to get each other off. It looks like maybe they were trying to build something out of themselves to get out. You can see them sort of start running up some of the ceilings. You see one of them trying to get into the air vent, throw the thing down and head straight into the air vent. Some of them, are headed straight in Blister's direction. Some towards the lab, some towards the kitchen.
Oh, we weren't able to shut the door and keep them in it? Keep them in the
No,
room?
they've got air vents. they love the air vents.
Not the lab! Andy goes running.
Can I
And
go,
you see Cracklebox sort of come out, dragging his little Elvis doll
come here.
out as he does. And he looks like he's gonna run, and then spots Vega as sort of wheels over towards Vega.
I'm gonna put my hand down so we can roll up on it.
Yeah, he rolls up onto your hand. The Elvis doll's still pretty much clamped in his arms.
How do you do that?
Do what?
Get him to listen.
I don't know. We just kinship, right, little buddy? Right, dude? Give him a thumbs up.
And that little arm opens in the flap, and that little thumbs up comes out before closing again.
Alara is very fascinated by this whole a Wizmo paying attention and doing what's been requested of it.
I'm sorry that happened to you. It's that won't happen again. Don't worry, I've been pissing him off by calling him the last name, the wrong first name for the last 5 times. So. Are there any still in the room?
No.
They're all gone. All right, well, here's one. I got Cracklebox. I got K-Box.
Well, that's great. Blister's in the room, right?
You are very aware, though, that they will all stay on the ship, especially if Blister is on the ship. It's not like them to then flee the ship.
I'm going to go make a latte. I'll be in my quarters if you guys need me.
Sure. Not a problem.
Unless we want to do roll call really quick on your friends, the Wizmos.
Well, at this point, we probably can use the scanner. They've dispersed enough. We're not going to worry about them being on top of each other anymore.
Okay. All right. I'll be over there. I'm going to leave.
Blister, what are you doing as you approach your room?
I am mostly nervous. I'll sort of go to the door and peer in.
Okay. You peer into this room. Could you make a perception check for me, please?
I can, but I'm nervous. Oh, Blister, these stats.
Good though. You sort of peer into this room, and you're immediately hit by this woof of just floral sort of smells like air freshener. You can see on your lamp there is a little tree car air freshener hanging from the top. You can also see everything is folded. And
The air freshener's gone straight away. That's the first thing to go.
Sacred flame it. Yeah, you can burn it up. There's a real powerful smell very quickly, which soon disappears. But you can also see what looks to be a small vase of flowers that have been put on your bedside table, which is currently sat on a doily. Otherwise, a doily, and everything seems to be folded. And I'm not just meaning your clothes. I'm talking if there was any papers in here, if there was anything at all. Everything is stacked, and everything is clean. You can see in the mirror now.
I have a mirror?
Yeah, that's not a window.
What about my bathtub?
Your bathtub, you can see some like yellow tape crossing it off. They don't seem to have approached it yet.
Oh, thank goodness. Alright, well, I'll tear down the tape, and then I'm gonna look at all this space I've got.
Yeah, like they've tidied up. You feel like you actually have floor space now. You do see a couple of Wizmos. You do hear that clank as like one of the air vents open. You see a couple of Wizmos sort of coming in and immediately coming onto your like bed and start just pulling like the pillows out the pillowcases and stuff like that as you're there.
That's a good idea, yeah. But I've got all this space. There's got to be something I can do with all this space. Hey, Wizmos!
Like there's 5 of them that stop and immediately look to you, wheel round, and stand to attention.
Right, we've got a lot of space here. Got a feeling we should do something with it. I don't know what yet, but I've got a good feeling that this could be something special. Like we could make something. Or do something.
There's a few beeps and whirs, and like a clatter, sort of a clicking almost from some of them. They sort of seem to be pretty excited about that as 2 more come through the air vent.
Blister hasn't acknowledged the fact that they're free or anything like that. I'm gonna take my butter knife and start unscrewing the bed frame.
Okay, roll me a sleight of hand check, please. Wow. I was going to say with advantage, but you know. Yeah, you can definitely unscrew the bed frame, but it's going to take a while because every single time you do it, a Wizmo picks up the butter knife and does like a lap of the room with it, and you have to get it back off the Wizmo each time.
I will not weld the screws out. I will not weld the screws out. I will not weld the screws out. Alright. Alright, yeah, I take my time doing that.
Okay. So
I just want resources at the minute. You know, I've got a lot of metal and materials here. I've not got any idea what I'm going to do with it yet. But, you know, I've got a good feeling.
Okay. Great. Andy, what are you doing after you've sort of backed out of this Wizmo room?
Yeah, definitely the second the Wizmos started heading to the lab, Andy would have been like, oh my god, the lab! And like ran just to make sure they're not in there like destroying anything, like just make sure everything's safe. Like I feel like she runs in and one of them's picking something up, she takes it out of its hand.
Yeah, you see them just picking things up. They don't seem to be breaking them, but you can follow the line and just take things off them. As they
Yeah, collecting things in her arms.
And you can see them. You can see 2 of them are pressed up against that claw, that hand that is in that tube that you put back with the husk. Some of them are just looking. One of them, you probably have to make a sleight of hand check, but one of them has picked up a bar and is about to swing.
No!
If you could make a sleight of hand check for me.
Oh no, Andy is not dexterous. Oh, okay.
To be fair, that's okay. You sort of, it swings, and as you do, you can grab it, just sort of like, nope, and take it off this thing as it is like trying to get at this husk's hand thing that is currently preserved in this tube. And from down the corridor, you hear that straw sound as Telemachus is walking down. She's also now, what you will notice, dressed very much like Blister. She has a leather jacket on and she has a backwards cap on. She's still wearing dungarees and boots with a very floral long sleeve top underneath, but there is a leather jacket and a backwards cap, and she's just like,
Oh yeah, they're gonna do that.
like you can even see her just like,
Put it down.
put it down. Like talking to one of the windows across the room where there seems to be just, it's like a pot plant that is sprouting these flowers, but over and over again. It's like they're blooming and flowering like over the top. And she sort of walks over, takes a plant off of them, puts the Wismo down.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I know they're gonna do stuff. I just, like turn to the one that was gonna crowbar the claw and just like, look, don't touch. Like, no.
You see, like, these robot eyes grow very wide.
Yeah.
And then look a little disappointed, but it wheels away slowly.
You can go touch things in Blister's room. Thank you.
You hear a squeak. The arms go up in the air, and it its legs are moving far quicker than the rest of its body as it heads down to Blister's room.
Oh, good. Much better.
And Telemachus sort of finishes the milkshake and then drops it in the bin that's at the side. It's like,
so all the supplies are coming on tonight. I'm guessing we don't actually want to, sleep at the port. We can just stay on Argo.
That makes sense. I mean, why would we have this perfectly good ship? Mostly. Why wouldn't we use it for stuff? I imagine staying at the port is probably pretty expensive, so.
I would have said so.
And she sort of presses a button on her wrist, and Alara, you get a call come through. She's like,
hello, we're getting the supplies in the next 10 minutes.
All right, great. Keep an eye on the the ramp. The Wismos are running around already.
Oh no, I know, it's all right. They're in the lab.
How's Andy doing?
I like Andy. You see Telemachus look over towards you.
Looks a little bit stressed.
Help her out with them if you don't mind. I'm gonna check and see if maybe they congregated near Blister.
Okay.
And you hear that like awkward hang up, whereas you hear like a put it down, like moving away. Okay, so are you heading towards Blister's?
Yeah, in hopes that most of them will be going to see him.
Yeah, you can see there's some more seem to be flowing into the room from down the corridor. You almost tread on one more because it's getting under your feet, not because you don't see it. But yeah, you can see it.
I have a feeling it's one of those things where first she's walking by the room and it's almost like the double back, realizing, wait, that is Blister's room, because used to seeing the clutter and everything, but it's not there. And then
It's
double
very
taking
fresh.
Yes, because it doesn't exactly say Blister when you walk by. But once she's looking into the room, it's more the double take with the what are you doing?
I don't quite know yet. I've disassembled the bed. I've got metal, I've got wood, I've got some kind of mattress, I've got some clothes I didn't know I had, I've got some paper. I mean, my initial thought is maybe a fire pit, but not the most exciting thing I've come up with. Maybe I could come up with something else.
Please don't build a fire pit in this ship, please. That's not really necessary.
It might be nice though, to have a beer in the evening around like a fire pit. We used to do that at the house.
All right, that is true. Maybe make it so we can take it outside of the ship when we're visiting places, not so much use it in the ship.
Silly Alara, fire doesn't burn in space.
I didn't say in space.
Oh, a portable fire kit. Now that's an idea.
Yes, we can carry it around and take it to different places. It's sweet that you thought of that, though. Just not active on the ship. Maybe we can get a Bunsen burner and use one of those to sort of recreate it, but not like what we see in the house.
Bunsen burners. I think I've got some like.
Oh, I just
like
gave you another idea.
Drinking flasks around as well. Actually, yeah.
Why the flasks?
I'm just thinking,
Yeah, you think a lot, and that's where things happen. I know that look.
What? Well,
That
look.
means I'm either bailing you out of jail, or you've lost your job, or we need to get moving quickly because something has happened.
No. Necessarily true. I'm just,
Not necessarily wrong, though.
Perhaps not, no. But, you know, I've got lots of good ideas. And drain pipe, that's what I need. I need some sort of like drain pipe material. Preferably metal. Wonder if there's any of that on the ship. I'm just gonna head down to engineering.
Don't take the ship apart.
I would never
Don't.
take the ship apart.
No, but the Wismos have. For you.
That's not the same thing.
Yes, it is.
That's
Don't
not.
don't take the ship apart using either your own hands or having the Wismos help you. And don't try and convince someone else to take the ship apart for you.
Alright, don't take the ship apart. Got it.
Oh, you're writing. Okay. All right. We'll see what you come up with then. You might want to start using that paper and writing the list of your ideas, though.
I didn't even know I had paper. What on earth is this?
It's something you use to keep record of things you might need to get done or send messages to someone with.
Yeah,
These
I know what
look-
paper is, but you know what I mean? I mean, like, there's stuff written on it.
These look to be like receipts or beer bottle labels that you've peeled off, and they've actually kept them, found them, folded them.
Oh.
You don't need to keep them if you don't want to.
They might be useful.
Well, your stash is going to grow quickly then, isn't it?
I guess.
Hmm. Right. The Wismos are out and about. Good luck. And then I'll head back out of the room and start walking towards the lab.
Okay.
I run to
can s-
engineering.
Oh no!
You can run to engineering. You can see, as you go towards the lab, you can see some of these gnomes that are now loading on these boxes, which do literally say supplies on the side of the boxes. Before you enter the lab, you see this one just like,
Can you sign for it, please?
Just 1 second. Can I look over these boxes labeled supplies and make sure none of them are sort of bopping around or look like they've been invaded?
yeah. I was about to say press perception. Can you roll me a perception check, please?
Well, it is still pressing. Oh, I'm not doing well today.
You can open the crates, and it looks to be a lot of like freeze dried like food packets. You can see some fresh stuff in there as well. You see a lot of protein bars. There is a lot of protein bars in there. You know, Telemachus is very big on her protein bars and always orders a bunch in. You see a lot of different drinks and stuff in there as well, including a milkshake bottle. But it looks to be pretty full stock.
All right, great. Can you take this to cargo for us?
Of course, ma'am.
And like you see them sort of slap like this little device on the side, like it sort of attaches itself to it, and the boxes start hovering and they start pushing them towards storage.
That's very handy.
Standard use and cleaning procedures.
And you see them sort of walk down.
You needed me to sign something?
Please.
And this other gnome steps forward, and and holds out like this tablet towards you.
Sign it off. Thank you again. Is there anything else you'll need from us, or?
No, actually, I think we're all done. It's like,
Jojo, come out of there! And you see a couple more of these gnomes come sort of thundering out as they run with all these like big rubbish bags and like which look to be like used cleaning supplies and things like that. And you can hear them sort of as they come off the ship. This other one is ticking it off like
Al, Marty, Carrie, Jojo,
Francis, like going through like to make sure they all leave. And they do. They all sort of thunder off, give you a bit of a wave, and Argo closes the hatch just so that there's like privacy because everything is on there.
All right,
Alistair, what are
great.
you doing in engineering?
Well, I'm looking for a section of pipe. Now, Alara specified that I can't take this ship apart. I understand that. But I'm sure we must have, like, escape shuttles, maybe old freighters, you know, things that are necessary.
There is one ship. You know Vega came in a ship.
I don't want to take apart Vega's ship, though. That seems really off, you know. It'd be really off to just take apart someone's ship. That would be a really cruel and mean thing to do. Is there anything like that looks like a cylinder on it, like a bit of drain pipe or something like that?
I mean, you can see some of the cooling systems has these different pipe sort of things you could use.
Look, I'll come back to that. You know, I would hate to take apart a ship like that. So I'll look around elsewhere in case I can find a section of, you know, tubing. Maybe like 3 inches diameter. That'd be quite good, I think. You know? Like that sort of.
As you're like mooching around down here, a screen comes down and you see Argo. He's like, what you doing?
If anyone asks, nothing.
Well, I'm asking.
Nothing.
Oh. It's just last time you came down here on your own, you made a distillery out of bits of me.
That was a feature.
Mm-hmm. What are you after? I'd rather give you something than you take it off me.
Alara said not to take you apart, alright? So I wasn't going to take you apart. However, if you happen to have a section of tube about 3 inches diameter and about 4 feet long, preferably heat resistant, not nickel or anything soft like that, hard metal.
Give me a moment. And he sort of turns round and there's this like, not on the ceiling, but high up on the wall, this very dodgy like metal flap sort of swings open, like it looks like the hinges are bad, and just this pile of random bits of metal start like falling out and making a pile on the floor.
Where did all this come from?
Scrap.
You mean you have scrap just lying around?
It's not lying around, it's in a storage space.
How many of these do you have?
And from the other end of the corridor, another flap opens and you see another pile of all this metal comes clanking down off the side. And this all looks like to be in much better shape than Argo itself. You guess these are probably spare parts that he's never mentioned.
I whistle loudly, like, Wismos, assemble!
And you do see from, like, if anyone else on the ship can hear it, you hear, like, a joint whir of almost every Wismo comes streaming down towards the engine room. And they stand in front of you, Blister.
Alright, you see all this? This is gonna be our legacy. This is gonna be amazing. This is gonna be the best thing we've ever done as a team. Everyone, get all this scrap back to my room. Now.
You can see most of them will grab just armfuls and bits of it and start wheeling past. You can see some of them arguing and pulling apart like this pole that they both want to carry. So there's a little bit of like argumentative Wismo things going on right now, but most of them tend to carry a lot up. But yeah, you can head upstairs.
Yeah, I'll grab a trolley too and like, you know, try and transport some as well. They're not just a labor force. I join in.
Yeah, you do that, and Argo sort of swings back round and see, ask and you shall receive.
Oh, thank you, Argo. I appreciate that. You know, and it would also help if we had like maybe an inventory.
Nah, that costed extra.
But you'd literally just have to write it on paper. Why would it cost extra?
I haven't got any arms.
You've got like readouts and things, haven't you?
He just sort of shrugs. This is like the, do you remember when we had the self-destruction thing go off? I mean, that was just misprogramming. But it was alright, because we couldn't afford the bomb.
I could probably build like a self-destruction thing now. I've got lots of stuff.
I mean, if you can do it efficiently.
I mean, I would hate to think someone else could like take over the ship, you know, and like just use it. That'd be awful.
And again, this head sort of like gives that shrug motion. Hang on. Telemachus is calling me, and he just sort of goes back up into the ceiling.
Go back to my room.
I'll say you go back to your room. We are going to hop over to Vega. And Vega, you are Are you in your room? Where
Yeah,
did
I would
you
head
go?
to the room, unless I saw the order come on, but I think I left before the order came on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go to the room, close the door, ask for one of those lattes that the machine can make,
Yeah, it pulls it.
and he's just gonna sit there and digest. Maybe look at Cracklebox and say, "So I got all this information I was looking for, but then I heard something in my head, and now I don't want to look at the information for some reason. I have this gut feeling, but I have a question. Before yesterday, in Area 51, have we ever met? Do you remember me from some other time?"
And this creature looks at you, sort of dips its head and shakes.
Never before. Oh, I got you something, as promised. And I'm gonna search for that little trinket toy, that little souvenir thing with the squeezy
The little
thing.
the squeezy thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it out and kind of squeeze it at him. And then hand it to him.
His little arms sort of reach out, and he's got the clamps, and he sort of literally sits down, stops looking at you for it, and is just sat there, continuously squeezing this toy, like trying to mimic the wide eyes as it happens, whilst like beeping and like whirring as it goes.
Also, do you have a light on you? Do you have one of these? Can you cast the light so you can see in the dark?
He looks at you, and you just see his eyes like light up.
Oh, okay, good. Just want to make sure you weren't stuck in a dark box without a light, at least. So, yeah, I think you were right. They kind of helped me out. I don't know. Should I listen to this information? I mean, I'm almost afraid to. What do you think? I leave it in your hands there, Cracklebox. Thumbs up, I should listen to it. Thumbs down, I should not.
And this Wizmo looks at you and then turns and looks at this squeezy toy again and keeps, like, you've given him something now that is very, very distracting. But I'd like you to roll a perception check, please. Okay. You are in your room and you're watching. You've got the information down. You've got this Wizmo playing with the squeaky toy. You can see in your room. You've got those windows. You've got the air vent. You've got everything around. And as you look over towards the window, just up in the top right-hand corner on the outside, there looks to be like a sucker. Maybe 3 of them, like a tentacle that is just latched onto the side.
I guess it's gonna have to wait. I guess I'm not supposed to listen to it right now. So I'm gonna radio. Lieutenant Commander, did I say that right? Alara?
Yes. What's going on?
Can you come to my quarters, please? Or the room I'm borrowing, or whatever we classify this as. No, there's something
they're your
like
quarters. I'll be right there. Then I'll head over. Almost like doing like an about face from heading towards the lab. It's like one of those like yoop and
Yeah, you do
around.
a loop. You do a loop. You see Telemachus going the other way. You know Andy was probably in there, but you do a loop as you hear this, and you can. The door isn't open, but you're outside.
All right, I'll.
Yeah, enter, please.
Hi. What's going on?
Are those? And I point to the suckers. Are those more like friends, like the Wizmo on the outside of the ship, or thought I'd bring that to your attention?
That's not friend. No.
Are we still docked, or did we fly off?
You're docked.
Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Argo.
And there is that slow scream that comes against. Yes.
Could you please check if there's something stuck to you outside?
And like the screen rotates towards the window. Looks like it.
That's stating the obvious. Maybe do an analysis.
And you hear fire, and it just sort of starts to static across, and the screen goes black.
I'm gonna go. Cracklebox, stay here. gonna grab my repeater, and I'm gonna start heading for the gang.
I'll grab, seeing that, I'm grabbing my gun and I'll go out and follow.
Yeah. Andy, you're in the lab. And can you make a perception check for me, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, everything is absolutely fine. You don't you're there, you're more distracted by trying to get the Wizmos out of what they're trying to get hold of. They seem to have managed to get into one of the drawers that has all the pets and all like the beakers and things like that, and they seem to be hitting each other with it.
Yep.
More than anything. And you're sort of trying to take it off. So as you're trying to take it off them, you don't see at the top of the air vent this long sort of tentacle start to come in and fix itself to the wall.
Yep, I definitely don't see that.
Blister, what are you doing?
You know, I don't really know. I'm like putting things together and seeing how they fit and like looking at things, and you know, I did grab a bunch of like metal water containers from somewhere, and I filled all of them with alcohol. But I'm not really sure where I'm going with that yet. It's just like another... It's sort of like I've got about 25 different projects going on. I don't really know where any of them are going, but I'm making progress on all of them. I can feel it deep down.
Okay, whilst you're doing this, could you roll me a perception check, please?
I'm very focused. If you like, I can make it a disadvantage.
It's up to you.
Doesn't matter. 12.
Okay. So you're doing this and you don't see anything, but it's like you can hear something. Like a clicking. A very slow clicking. And almost as if the movement of something down one of the walls.
With Morse?
And at that, we're going to hop over to Alara. Alara, you are running down this corridor just behind Vega as Vega's taken off. And you're running. You're running and you're running. As you do, you feel like a darkness is slowly coming over you. Almost like you're very, very tired. And it's almost like a shadow creeping on like your eye line. So it's like when you're falling away from something, but you can definitely feel yourself running.
So I'm moving, but everything's shadowed now?
Everything, it's like the shadow is creeping in from every corner, like around your eyes. And
Vega's ahead of me?
Vega, you can see running ahead of you, and it's like he's disappearing very, very quickly. Like it's like the corridor itself is starting to stretch. You could guess like it was almost like he was miles away now. But the corridor isn't this long. You don't know why.
I'd probably shout 88 to see if I can get his attention.
It's like one of those dreams where you shout and no sound comes out, and there's almost like a gurgle that sound comes out rather than an actual yell. And you feel yourself getting not weaker, it's not that, it's tired. Like you still feel like you have strength in you. In fact, you feel like you have a lot of strength. It's literally fatigue. And as you keep running, you feel like you hit something clear, something smooth and round, and almost like a window.
Put my hands up to feel around and see if I can get like the sense of span and how much it covers.
You make a perception check for me, please.
Sure.
Okay. As you reach out, It's, you feel your palm hit something cold and circular. And as you do so, it's like you blink for a second. And that almost like that shield, that window is still there, but you're no longer in the corridor. You're in a room. You're in a lab. And you're in a glass tube.
Do I see anything outside of the tube?
Can you roll me another perception check, please? You manage to like open your eyes. Like they feel very, very tired. They feel very, very weak. But you manage to blink open, and it's almost like when you get salt water in your eyes and you realize you're suspended in this liquid. And you look out this lab. You see the lab sets, lab chairs. You can see all these different like pipes and tubes and different colors. You can see lots of information up on the board, but it doesn't seem to, you can't seem to focus on what it actually says. It's almost like the words are gibberish to you. And you hear the of a door opening on the other side of the room. You feel almost like you're suspended in this body as John Greenway walks in through the door. This man in a lab coat, a very young John Greenway. And in his arms, he is carrying a small child, a baby, who seems to be asleep. And he walks in. Someone seems to follow him behind. They're in a smart sort of suit, not like a jacket and suit, but almost like a full all-in-one jacket, almost like a tunic with these very smart sleeves buttoned all the way up. And could you make another perception check for me, please? Okay. As you do, you focus. And it's like you're really having to focus to do this. Like everything you're seeing is through water. It's like a blur. And you see almost like an embroidered sort of badge on this uniform. Those 3 diagonal lines creating that mountain circle at the top, as if it's been spinning, that says Astrogations Inc. at the side. And you can't hear exactly what's being said. Again, it's like you're hearing it from underwater. But there's a disagreement between this person and John Greenway. There's an argument. You see John come over and lay the child down in what looks to be like a cot or something to that effect. And the one word you can pick out and hear is, no, we're not doing that. I've told you before. And you see them moving around the room. There doesn't seem to be anything physical like altercations, but it is heated. It is an argument. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Like try and like bang my fist against the tube.
Mm-hmm. Okay, roll me a strength check, please.
Okay. Oh, be nice today, roll 20. Come on.
Okay. You bang against this tube. The strange thing is, it's like if you look down at yourself, it's like the hand of the body you're within doesn't move, and almost your own, like almost like a spectral type hand starts banging against this tube. And you see John Greenway take a step forward towards the tube you're in. He has a sad look on his face and he rests his palm up, almost confused. It's literally where you hit the glass, and rests his palm up. And could you make a perception check for me, please? Okay, you can't hear this again. It's almost like the vibrations give you a bit of a headache almost from hitting it. But you can read his lips. There's, I'm not going to let them have you, sweetie. And this man, the one dressed in the uniform, the one from Astragations Inc., stands by the door. He doesn't look happy. He's got very, very dark brown hair, very neatly, like gelled back, gelled combed and everything. Very, very sharp features. Hands behind his back. As John Greenway steps away. And they both leave the room. And you are left in this tube, this thing, whatever it is. You can actually like move your hands and you can feel it's not just water, it's like slightly like gel. And you can see the wires almost attached to your hands and your arms. He's looking around.
I want to scream wake up to myself.
Okay. I'm going to get you to roll a perception to hear yourself.
Okay.
Okay. And you yell and you scream. And it's like you hear double you. You hear it ricocheting off everything. You feel like the whole world around you is starting to vibrate as you scream this, wake up, wake up. And as you do, everything starts to get fuzzier. It's like you can feel yourself waking up. And just as you can feel like you blink and you see that corridor again, and then you blink and you see the tube again, you just on and off. As you blink and you see the lab one more time, you see the man from Astragations Inc. walk in on his own, close the door, walk up to the glass where you are, put his hand up very much like John Greenway did. And you blink again and you're back in the corridor. Vega, you were running. You were running and you were running fast. Would you have stopped to look back at to see if Alara was still following you, or would have you been like on a mission, like to get there?
It would have had to have been a passive to get glanced. I think I was more on a mission to get off the ship.
Okay.
And get to the once I saw Argo go down, I wanted to get off the ship.
Okay. Yeah, you're running towards the ship. You can get towards the bridge. Can you make a perception check for me, please?
Okay. I was going towards the gangplank.
Oh, gangplank. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. What do you need me to make?
Perception check, please.
Perception check.
Okay. As you're running, you can see the gangplank. The gangplank is by the bridge, and you see Telemachus slumped in her chair, what looks like asleep. And you feel more and more tired, dreary, like you're feeling weaker and weaker. And you close your eyes and there's a flash here and there. And you reach the gangplank, you see it. Can you make me a sleight of hand check to try and reach the button? As you're sort of out of it. Okay. You reach the button. It's like you slap it and your hand slides down as the gangplank starts to lower and you fall to your knees. And as this happens, you blink. And it's dark. It's very, very dark. You're sat in your ship, your small fighter pilot. It's like you're waking up in this seat. You feel all of those like straps and seatbelts on. And you're drifting through space. And all around you, you see debris just drifting through the air, bits of metal, and you roll me one more perception check, please. Okay. You feel delirious, and you sort of like, you ache, you realize you've really, really hurt, and you can reach up. And there's blood on your fingertips as you touch your forehead. And you look out into this darkness, and all of these bits of metal, you realize are bits of ship. Not just one ship, many ships. And it's like you're drifting through a spaceship graveyard. And all of the power seems to be down on the ship itself. None of the panels are lighting up. The only light you're getting seems to be from what looks to be maybe a sun or some form of light that is way off to your right, as it sort of, the glare comes through the ship's window. And there is a very small Wizmo with an Elvis doll laying sort of not broken, but sort of crumpled up on the side of the dash.
Do I have my rig on? Am I
You
wearing
do
my?
have it on.
Okay. Is that working?
Nothing is working.
Can I make out that the ship one of the ships outside might have been Argo 37?
Roll a perception check for me, please.
I'm a little out of it right now.
You see nothing. This looks to be hundreds, if not thousands, of ships. Big parts of them. You can see what from like small little bits to huge chunks. You see bits loom over you, pass through that light, and cast that shadow over you.
Do any of them have any marking numbers or anything that looks like a date or anything that I would recognize from either ships at Area 51, something that jogged my memory from things I don't remember, or anything I saw at this Titan's grave we were just at? Any ships in the docking bay?
Roll one more perception check for me,
Oh
please.
boy. Hey.
You're drifting through this space, and everything moves very eerily slowly, and you see a big chunk of metal, like it's been ripped off the side of the ship. This doesn't look to be from an explosion. This looks like there's claw marks and there's things in it that have ripped it apart. And as it drifts past your wing screen, it reads Alpha 88.
Do I have my pad of paper on me? Do I have my notebook at least?
You can have your pad of paper on you.
Okay, so maybe it's far stretched, but it looks like a lot of different ships. It doesn't look like one big giant floating skeleton that might have exploded. Like,
Nope.
is there any sign of like glass or dead bodies in space floating around?
You can't see any like dead bodies or anything in particular. This seems to be literally bits of ship, and again, multiple bits of ship. It doesn't seem to all belong to one.
This isn't real. This is like another vision, like the hotel room. Was running down a gangplank. Was running down a gangplank. Cackle box. I'm gonna tap him. I was running.
Tap him. Nothing happens.
I was running down a gangplank. All right, vision received. Good to go back now. Got it logged in here. I'm gonna start. I guess I'm just gonna go to my logbook and start reading. Since Earth, 1969, wormhole, Titan, plus 75 years. Been here before on Titan Stargazer once a year. Room 37. Coincidence that I'm on Argo 37? Who knows? Question mark. Business meeting with Astrogation Inc. Hacked system, got information. Should I read it? I don't know. Get gift for Crackle Box. And I'm just gonna keep.
You keep repeating that over and over in your head as the ship, you see it turning and drifting. And you can hear a scratching from somewhere above your head.
I'll look to see if it's those. Do I remember being on Argo 37 in the tentacles and running to the gangplank? Running to the exit ramp?
You do.
Okay, so I'll look to see if those are the suction cup things, like the leeches or any kind of armor or anything.
You look up.
I do.
And you see a long nail trace over the glass above your head, and you see it making a line in the glass. This is the only thing between you and space.
Do I have my helmet and I have a flight suit on, I assume, and I think I have. So do I have my life suit on? Can I put my helmet on?
Yeah, no, you can have it.
All right, I'll put my helmet on. Hold on, I got my helmet.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to make any rolls though, because I can't see the text. All right.
And as you do this, you can put it all on anyway, and this long nail starts to push its way in through the glass, and it reaches lower and lower.
Can I shoot it?
If you want to shoot it inside a ship.
Oh, it's not through the glass yet?
It is through the glass, but you will hit the glass of the ship.
Oh, I'll wait till it's like a bigger target inside to shoot it. I'll just have the gun ready.
Yeah. And it starts to slide in through the glass, just this nail, almost like it's using it as a sensor to try and find exactly where you are. And that big piece of metal again flies in front of your ship, saying Alpha 88, with 3 long claw marks crossing the writing. And now we're going to hop over to Andy. But I am going to take a real quick bio first, so I'll be back in just a second.
This is fine.
I'm back in a tube.
Ew.
Meanwhile, whilst you're all doing that, Argo, can you play Fire by Arthur Brown, please? That'd be great.
Oh god. just getting inspired over there, Blister.
I'm doing so many things.
Welcome back, Argo.
I've whispered Alice to check that my ideas are okay, and she said yes.
Oh dear God.
Oh, no.
It's gonna be
Maybe I'll stay in the tube.
Maybe this is actually the best place. Who knew? Oh.
I want to see if you two are going to get put through this mind warp too, or if it's just the two of us.
Well, I mean, there were tentacles coming into the lab, and I just didn't see them because I was busy.
God damn it, Cthulhu, every time.
I was just like, we need Cthulhu! This is what I get for painting him orange. Oh dear God.
You think you're safe, then
never. Yeah. I never think. Are you kidding me? Never, ever, ever. Never, ever.
That's true. That's true.
Twice a week, folks. Twice a week, she melts my brain. Oh boy. Okay, so Greenway is not a fully That's a mind warp. I don't know. This is
I don't wanna.
yeah, right? Like, I rescind my seat. No, I'm kidding. Can I have a do-over?
Just, oh man, I don't know whether it's gonna be a tentacle or a claw monster or a bad.
Or both, or all, or everything.
Tentacles with claws? No, thank you.
Well,
Hey, I can see that. Tentacles with like little snips on the
right?
end.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
you guys have tentacles. I have giant claws that literally just ripped apart something that says my name on it. Now it's time
With like
to
a nail thingy claw. Ooh, God. Oh, God. It was like a brain sucker.
Oh, see, why'd you have to say that?
Because it's Alice.
Oh, dear.
No, we're like coming up like what all these things could be doing. It's like maybe it's more like Alice. Like I don't know.
Put my helmet back on.
You have us fully paranoid. Please proceed.
Well, we cross over to Andy, and Andy, you're taking these beakers and these like pipettes and all these different
Everything's
things of these Wizmos, and you see them all freeze and pause and look towards the air vent.
What? What do you got? What do you want? What are you doing now?
And you look over and you see this tentacle that is just sat on the side of this ship, and it looks like it is suckered onto the ship itself, but it's pulsing, and you start to feel very, very tired.
Do I have time to like scan it? Do I have time to like just
roll me a perception check.
silently put her little like screen up? Perception? Okay. I was just wondering actually, I have I don't know if this would count because I don't know if it's the whole creature. I have from the Mage Hand Press stuff, I have something called xenobiology.
Okay.
But oh, hey.
Okay, so
Hey.
you start to scan this creature, and you feel yourself getting more and more tired as you reach out for it. You actually, it's almost like you feel numb with your hands and your arms as you're really focusing on this creature. You hear a crash of glass as you're guessing you've slumped against one of the desks, and the beakers that you were collecting off the Wizmos crashed to the floor and shattered. And as you're focusing on this, a second one comes through, and a third, and a fourth. And as you read the information, you're too tired to fully get it, but it will be logged.
Great. That's
And
good.
it's you know that your machine logs it.
Yep.
And you feel this tentacle is producing something that is making you drowsy, and
Like spores or something?
it seems to be producing something, and it's not channeling it into the air, it's channeling it into Argo. It seems to be a very natural creature, but it's latched onto something mechanical and electrical.
Technobiology. So cool.
And you sort of feel like everything go dark. And you feel like cold metal against your face, the palms of your hands, your arms, as if you're laying on this ground. As your eyes flicker open, and you recognize this place. You've been here before. You remember it because this is where you first really got to know Alara and Blister. It's where you found your goggles. And you are laying almost face down on this floor like you've been asleep. You don't hurt, you don't ache. But the entire floor is metal. It looks like it's built up in huge panels put together. The homes around you look broken, look destroyed. There is not another person in sight. Could you make a perception check for me, please?
Oh.
Okay. At the end of this, almost like a street, like a high street, you see large steps leading up to a hospital-like university with a statue at the center, which looks fairly broken, but you recognize it. Scrat, I swear to God, if you're eating dairy right now in a panic mode.
These are fruit flapjack cookies. The packet says no milk.
Okay, I'll let you off. What do you do?
So I know this was that planet. This planet was the worst. I hated this planet. It was really bad. Gosh. I'm looking for. So I'm outside of the hospital?
Yes, you're outside. You're on the street, and you can see all these buildings broken up around you, falling apart. There is not another person in sight. There is rubble everywhere.
Okay, because we went into the hospital and then we got chased out of the hospital. And so I'm looking for the ship. I'm like, I don't want to be on this planet. So I'm just looking around. Like, oh, no, get me off, please.
Roll a perception check for me, please.
I don't want to be here. This is bad.
On a 21, you can see Argo. The other end. Wrecked.
No.
There only seems to be half of Argo there. It's in bits. And there is someone walking down the steps of the facility. 2 people, in fact. One, a man in a long lab coat. The other, this is quite a distance. So, but you recognize that walk anywhere. You recognize your aunt. Your aunt, the professor who you admire, walking side by side, having a conversation with John Greenway.
Oh, I move very quickly towards them because the fact that there's other living people here, just in general, I'm going, hey!
You run towards them. You can yell. Yeah. They don't seem to acknowledge you.
Oh, no.
As they continue their conversation.
Can you hear it?
You hear it. They seem to be talking about an experiment, a creation. And you hear your aunt say that she's here because she's been hired on behalf of Astrogations Inc. She's advising him to hand over all of his information, projects, and details for his own safety. You can hear her just like, look what's happened here. I know it's a projection to show you what's going to happen, but you have to understand this is going to happen. Both of your projects are going to cause great devastation. You must understand this. We at Astrogations thrive and make sure that we gather all information so that we can prevent disasters such as this. And as she says that, you see these creatures looming in the alleyways, these human-shaped figures dripping in black ichor. As they leave these, you look down at your feet and you can see the black seeping towards you.
I want to get away from it. I want to get away. This was so bad last time. The only reason I didn't go into it is because Blister picked me up when I fell down.
You can back away.
Yeah, I'm moving in the opposite direction now. I'm just trying to go anywhere there's still like light, because last time the second it got dark, it got real bad.
Mm-hmm. You're stepping away. You're backing up. It is still light. And you back away, and these things don't seem to be coming towards you. They actually seem to be coming towards the other two.
Then I would be like calling out to try and warn them.
Okay.
Be like, hey, look out. Can't you see the things?
You see your aunt twitch and almost look around as if she heard you. But she doesn't seem to acknowledge anything. And you feel the temperature drop substantially.
Oh.
And you see John Greenway even pull up his lab coat and go, whoa. If you don't mind, Professor, I have my daughter and my granddaughter to see to, so thank you. And he turns and walks away. And you are stood there, backing away from your aunt, who turns and looks at you directly in the eye and holds out her palm, and a small hologram of the astrogation sign is spinning at the center. It looks like on a disc, which you've seen, these are like telecommunicator things and stuff before. And she reaches it out and looks at you.
Oh no, I would have to go through the ichor to get to her?
It's not there yet.
Okay, then I run. I run. I run over her.
You run,
Uh-huh.
and she holds out her hand. It's almost like she's looking past you as you approach. And you see this disc, it's like a communicator. And you see the astrogation's sort of symbol hovering around. And as you reach her, she does look you directly in the eye. And there's just a smile, like a sweet but sad smile. What would you like to do?
Professor, what's going on?
And she pauses and looks at you. I think I can hear you. And she looks around. And she's, Andy?
Yeah, it's me. It's me. I'm on this planet. I don't know how I got here.
And she's looking around. And you see in the corners this ichor creeping in. Not fast, it doesn't seem to be moving very quickly. And then
We need
go on.
we need to get away from here.
And she seems to now be focused on this astrogation's hologram that is spinning round. And she looks you directly in the eye, almost as if she can see you for a moment. Oh, sweetie, you need to run. And she closes her hand and the lights go out. It's as if the sun has immediately been shut down.
No.
And you can not see, but you can hear that Ica creeping forward.
Can I like reach out and see if I can touch her? Is there anything there? Is like anything?
You reach out and you grab hold of something. And as you do, you feel long arms with long hands, long nails reach up your arms and hold you back. And just hold you there. You get the sense that something is leaning closer and closer to you as you can hear it breathing.
Can I break out? Can I run away? Can I scream? What can I do?
Roll me a strength check or a dexterity save, either one.
Last time I checked, screaming was a free action.
Screaming is a free action, but can they hear you if you scream in space?
So it's a strength or dex save? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try that one. I'm very little.
This doesn't seem to be holding onto you firmly. You manage to break free, and as you do feel like those nails almost just run along you as you pull away, and you can start running.
Yeah, I'm running.
Yeah, you're sprinting and you're sprinting in the darkness, and you can run. You can hear yourself standing on things and like the crunching of probably like other bits of metal or like crockery that is being smashed under your feet. And you can hear your aunt singing as you run forwards. Just almost like a lullaby. Something maybe you've heard her hum before. Maybe you've heard another relative hum before. It's almost like a memory, not her actually doing it. As you sprint, you run. And as you do, you feel this rush of energy, and you blink as you get closer and closer to Argo. And you sit bolt upright in the lab. You feel very, very hazy still. You've got a Wizmo sat on top of you, like that seems to be pulling at your clothes as you've fallen over, and you look to have pulled a lot of the science lab stuff off of the edge at the same time. And you look down at your arm and you see 3 claw marks torn into your sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna hop over to Blister. What are you doing, Blister, right now?
I've got rock and roll on. I am listening to music. I am tinkering with things. I'm in the bathtub. I'm around the room. I've got all of this metal everywhere. And I've, like, crafted this strange tube thing that sort of, like, attaches to the arm. And, I've been distilling, right? But I've made alterations to the distillery. So that instead of distilling alcohol, which I made very, very strong alcohol before, and I'm definitely using that, I'm altering it so that I can start distilling rocket fuel instead. As in taking the rocket fuel, like deuterium and stuff, and then distilling that into like a highly flammable liquid. There's going to be gouts of flame coming out of this thing that I've made, as I'm sort of continuing the research that I started doing at the last job. Remember I set fire to everything? I'm sort of continuing what I was doing there, and I would like to make a weapon that I'm going to call the Volcanic. For the meta, this is the latest release from Mage Hand Press, the Volcanic weapon. I want that.
Okay, roll me... Just to see how long it takes you more than anything, a sleight of hand check, please. Especially because you've got Wizmos jumping all over you at the same time.
Ooh.
I think. Do you have advantage or anything? No, there's no advantage.
I don't have advantage on Wismos. Could I convince you to let me have survival for an extra 1 point of proficiency?
Is this because you want to survive the blast if it goes
Yes.
wrong? Okay. You're alive. Congratulations. No, you do. You make this. It does take a while, and you've got Wismos running backwards and forwards, which is why you don't see this thing creep up as it moves along the floor. And some of the Wismos don't seem to notice either, because they're thriving as they help you make this thing, this literally thing of chaos, which is what they love.
Oh yeah, and I'm like humming away as well, you know. Do-do-do, video to burn. Do-do-do.
You notice the music starts to fade out. Like whatever you're playing it off of starts to whir, starts to like as if the tape, if it was a tape, is being stretched.
Argo. Replay Burn Baby Burn, please.
There is no response.
Alara, is Argo alright?
You have no response. There's just a crackle of static energy.
Alara, is everything alright? Is that Magic Mike?
There is no response.
Oh, I broke my mic. That's weird. Usually when I do that, everyone starts messaging me like, would you shut up, Blister? Where's Moz?
And you turn around and look at the Wismos, and they're all lying down. No lights on. As if they've been deactivated. And you have almost like a feeling wash over you. It's almost like it's triggering a memory, not anything else, from when you were the only person left on this ship. When no one was awake yet.
Out of like a little bit of panic, I'm kind of gonna ink and cast Arcane Anomaly. Just to make it harder for anything casting magic around to actually succeed.
Mm-hmm. And you do. You feel as though you see all the lights in Argo start shutting down.
That's alright, I've just made a flamethrower. I've got a torch.
Mm-hmm.
Wondered why the fire alarm didn't go off. Let's start walking around the ship.
You walk around the ship. It's pretty dark. You can see some of the emergency lights are on, so this almost like a green hazy light is very dull but projecting down the corridors. And you walk through. You see Telemachus asleep in the chair. More, you see her boots put up on the dashboard.
Gonna go and tap her. Hey, Telemachus.
She doesn't move.
Gonna like pick her up.
You can pick her up. You can see her chest rise and fall.
Alright, she's not like a dead weight or anything like that. She's just
It's like she's asleep.
plant her over my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull down one of Argo's screens and just see if there's anything there, because at least before I was with Argo, you know. Otherwise I might have become a complete weirdo, you know, being on a ship on my own for years.
You just see that loading circle. You hear a bang at the end of the corridor.
Wait, one hand on Telemachus, I run towards the bang.
You see
other arm,
someone-
because that arm's got a flamethrower on it, hasn't it?
You run towards the bang, and it's more that you see a shadow cast down the edge of the corridor, entering into the kitchen.
Okay. I'm gonna take Telemachus, alright? And I'm gonna quickly, like, fandangle her so that she's, like, in a sort of, like, piggyback position. You know? What I might do in a pinch, because I've been in engineering, is I'm probably gonna have some, like, cable ties in my pocket. So I'm gonna, like, cable tie her hands together around my neck and her feet together around my waist, so she's like a backpack. So I can have 2 hands free on my thing and be like, oh no! Telemachus, it's just you and me with my hands full of you and no weapons. What a shame! And start walking towards the thing. Yeah, you fucker.
Okay. You walk towards and you enter the kitchen. And as you do, you step into a bar, into a pub. You think you've seen this pub before, and there's lots of wooden paneling around this pub. There's a pub that seems it's a bar that goes all the way around with all these stools and all these seats. You see people very much dressed like you sat in this bar. Jeans, t-shirt, jackets. They all sit there and they've got a pint. There's a jukebox going on in the background. And suddenly you look down. You haven't got Telemachus on your back. You haven't got anything in your hands other than a pint.
God damn
You
it!
sit on this bar stool.
Right. My gut instinct is to make a scene. Is there anything that would dissuade me from causing a ruckus?
This looks like a pretty normal pub. I don't know what would dissuade Blister from causing a ruckus.
I don't know, something weird. Like, I'm gonna try and wake myself up from whatever the hell this is by literally wrecking the place. You know?
Okay, roll a perception check for me, please. Okay. As you look across the bar, you can actually feel the condensation on the glass. That's how real this feels as it drips down your hand. And over on the other side of the bar, you see 2 people having a conversation. You see you, and you see Vega. You're in a pub.
Behind the bar, is there a clock?
Yes, there is a clock.
Is it one of them ones that has like a date on it? You know, like the flicky clocks, the ones that go...
No, it's one that just tells you it's probably sort of like 8 p.m. at night.
Alright, the person drinking next to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grab his collar and pull him in close.
Like, and he's sort of like, he's like, you alright?
What year is it?
Excuse me?
What year is it?
And he sort of starts like panicking. It sounds like a broken record going, and then the face snaps round to look at you. 1996.
Liverpool won the Champions League, the league, and the fucking Masters that year. This is a terrible year.
You're in Aberdeen, mate. You don't want to talk about that here.
Or key, pal. And I let go of him.
He sort of rocks back onto his stool, straightens up.
Aberdeen? What the hell am I doing up in Aberdeen? twice as I look back at myself and Vega. Alright, what do I look like? Are my dreads in? Are they colored or are they normal? Am I wearing like...
You are dressed the same way you got on Argo.
I got on Argo, so like early Blister.
The other side. Yes.
The other side.
You
what?
personally,
Right, yeah.
You personally, right now, are how you were dressed this morning.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. I already look different to me, but not that different. All right. Hang on a minute. It's been over 10, probably 15, 20 years since then. I want to look in the mirror.
You'd have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, is it not one of them bars with a mirror at the bar?
Well, there's lots and lots of drinks in front of it. You can try and have a look through there. What are you looking for?
Do I look close enough to... Oh, no, wait. I never really knew my dad. Could I pass as my dad?
Your age now? You could probably... You'd be wearing exactly very similar things.
Oh, yeah,
like,
no,
the
it
hair
is.
would be different.
Already, like, Blister's like, I could go and pretend to be my dad. And he's like, no, wait, that's a terrible idea. If I did that, then all sorts of things would be different. Heat time!
If it's real.
If it's real. Well, I could soon find out. I just shoot myself, and then if I disappear, I guess it's real. But that's a very risky situation. I won't do that. I don't remember having anyone chuck a pint at me at this time. So I guess I didn't do that either. I'm trying to try and think back. Do I remember having a conversation with Vega back in 1996? I know it's a blur, because I was a bit of a mess, but anything.
You do look pretty hammered. You're sort of like, you've got... Vega seems to be sat fairly upright, talking to you. You're sort of slumped over the bar.
I'm gonna walk towards the bathroom, but I'm gonna do so by heading towards the staff door, and I'm just gonna let myself behind the bar into the back area.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. There doesn't seem to be too many people around.
Great. I'm gonna grab my laser sword. I'm gonna get rid of my dreads.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone. I'm gonna grab my cap, put it on the right way round, and I'm looking for a uniform. I want to find a bar uniform. That should be enough cover. No one will ever know.
Okay. You can see that there seems to the bar uniform seems to be pretty standard. It's a pair of jeans and a shirt, like a white shirt.
Shit, I don't have a white shirt. Do they have any like spare kitchen uniform or anything like that?
You can see like a lineup of chef's jackets.
Perfect. I'll grab a chef's jacket, put that on over the... I'll lose my jacket as well. I lose my leather jacket. And I put on the chef's uniform over the top. And I walk out onto the bar, like sort of like looking like hat pulled down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have the chef's jacket on, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab a glass from under the bar, go to the soda dispenser, and make it look like I'm just pouring myself a drink. But I'm gonna do it very slowly and close to me and Vega, so I can listen in.
Roll a stealth check for me, please.
Ah, yeah, stealth. I'm so great at that. Boom.
On a nat 1, you obviously creep towards the bar, and as you're like pouring this beer, you are pouring it very slowly.
I'm pretending to be like kitchen staff coming out to get a drink from behind the bar.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
it's just soda water. I'm not like going up to one of the tap.
You're pressing this button and you're getting the soda water to come up, and as you do, you can hear Vega lean towards Blister and sort of like got a hand on his shoulder, like half holding Blister up.
That seems about right.
Because Blister looks very, very out of it. Like, you look
I actually
almost...
look at how out of it Blister is and realize how sober I am. And for the first time probably since we've got on Argo, I'm wondering how long it's been since I've actually had a drink.
You've also never seen yourself drunk before.
Well, I've never seen myself sober before either, so it's a whole new experience both ways.
And he's holding you up, and you can hear him just like, focus, focus. I need you to focus. I need you to hear this. I need you to understand. You need to come with me.
This Blister is focusing. This Blister is listening closely and trying to understand.
He's like, and you can see Vega looks frustrated at how drunk this Blister is. It's like, I need you to remember this, okay? You need to remember this because I'm not going to. And then, because you rolled a nat 1, you sort of lift your glass up as if you're sort of just moving it to the other side, and you clip it. And you clip the glass on one of the pumps as you come up, and you throw it over Vega and Blister. And you see them both, like, Vega sort of jumps up, and he's just like, oh god, like you can see like these Velcro patches. He starts moving around on his denim jacket, which seems to be covering something else. And you see Blister just fall backwards off of the stool.
Alright, Aberdeen accent, Aberdeen accent. I can do an Aberdeen accent. I can pretend I'm from Aberdeen. Oh no, I'm sorry, mate.
As you do that, you see Vega step back, and where Blister basically disappeared behind this bar as he fell off the stool because Vega was no longer able to hold him up. You see these long nails start crawling up the side of the bar, pulling themselves up. This creature, very much like the ones from Area 51, these husks, as it stands, and it stands about a foot taller than Vega.
How is everyone else in the bar reacting to this thing?
They're drinking.
Okay, is this, you know how English pubs are? Is there like an ornamental shotgun up on the wall that everyone rumors is loaded? Or...
It's Scotland, yes.
I'm just gonna casually walk over to it and pick it up. Just cleaning it! Check if it's loaded.
Sleight of hand check, please. Okay, yeah, you can tell it's loaded. It's got one shot in it.
Great! I aim it at that creature and fire.
Roll for me.
Roll what?
roll. Just roll a d20 for me.
Plus dex, I suppose, because range?
Yeah.
Not proficient with guns, so...
Yeah, you fire off, and it hits this creature, and you hear this awful screech erupt from it as you send it crashing through one of the other bar things. You know, you get those glass windows above the seating areas, like up north, and they just sort of crash through that, and it sort of lays on top of this table. No one moves.
No one reacts to me firing a gun? Because Blister would have been in the middle of, like, as soon as he pressed the trigger, he would have been, like, chuck and started to run, but he would have only got about 3 steps if no one's reacting.
No. And then, from the side, you see it move. It sort of shifts glass off of itself. And from elsewhere, you hear a screech.
Alright, look. I'm gonna grab a glass. Oh, shit. I grab a glass. I grab 2 glasses.
You can grab these glasses as you hear a screech, not from in the pub, but from outside the pub. You see this long-nailed hand scrape its way across the glass near the entrance.
I only see it for a second because I'm going to shoulder check my way back through that staff door out the back. I'm running to the back room, you know, where all
Okay. This does seem to make people burst into action and panic. You see people rise up as these huge creatures start making their way in through the front door of the pub, grabbing people in their seats, throwing them, sort of, you see them grabbing them, ripping people apart as you run. I need you to make a dex save as you go across that newly mopped kitchen floor.
I know my way around a pub.
Yeah, you do it in all sort of a sliding motion as you skid. But you skid in the right direction. You pass like the chef who looks mildly confused, and you head towards the back door.
For a split second, I'm really tempted to just throw the glass at the floor in the kitchen because I know how annoying it is to chef staff because they have to like stop everything and redo everything. But I don't. I control myself. I check through the next door to go out the back.
Yep. You can make a perception check for me, please, as you run towards the back door.
Back door, window, anything like that.
Anything to that effect, yeah. 19.
Suddenly
yeah, okay.
I can see.
You can see a window and a back door. It's like one of those swing doors that goes both ways, and there's a window in it. You can look out without having to open the door, and you can see down the street in this part of Aberdeen. And you see these creatures crawling up the sides of buildings, crawling down the walkways and city streets.
Alright, I burst my way out there, and I'm not going, like, if there's any way that seems to have less, or none of them, preferably, that's the way I'm running. Took us ages to fight that one back at Area 51. I'm not doing it on my own.
You sprint, and you can see the chaos erupting around you as you see lots of people screaming, running. They seem to be barricading some of the buildings that they're in, and you can sprint, and you can see the dock down at one end on like this slope of the cobbled streets. You see the dock, you can see a hooker left to go down some more streets.
Hey, the docks. The dock sounds great. It's full of big burly men. Maybe we can start a militia or something.
You can head to the docks then. You can sprint, and you see this creature rear up from attacking someone else and turn its head towards you. I need you to make a dex save or a sleight of hand or something as it launches itself, almost springboards towards you.
If I throw a glass at it as it springs, do I get an advantage?
Yeah, why not?
Great. 12.
On a 12, you both lock eyes as this thing springs forward. You throw this glass and it sort of shatters and crashes, sort of sending it off glance and tumbling. It doesn't hurt it, but it does like throw it off, and you can keep running.
Still one glass in my other hand,
Mm-hmm.
which I changed to my better hand.
And you run towards the docks, and you can see all of these creatures charging after you now, following and running.
All right. Something to shout that would get dock workers interested. Something that would get them riled up, and hang on a minute. It's 1996. Maggie Thatcher's here! She's here! Run in.
You could just keep running. They stare at you a little bit. They don't actually do
Any of them react to
anything.
these things? I'm hoping that they'll, like, gather
They're-
at least.
As they see these creatures moving, they run. They drop everything they're doing. They run. And they tear after you. I need you to make a dex save as they all come crashing in the same direction.
Oh. 13.
One of them comes colliding into you because this creature jumps at this person working on the docks that hits you, and you find you're sent off into the water.
Yep, into the water I go.
And as you do, you plunge deep into this water, and it gets darker and darker. It's like you can still breathe, but you can't swim up.
But I can't
And-
swing up.
Swim up.
I'm not wearing my spacesuit either, am I?
No.
Oh dear. Pretty good at drinking, but this is seawater. That's not going to help me right now.
Can you make a perception check for me, please?
Wow. That was underwater blister, everyone. Here till Thursday. A 9.
On a 9, you don't see anything, but you do feel something wrap around your ankle and pull you down into darkness. And you come round, laying face down in the kitchen. Telemachus sort of slumped over the back of you, weapon in one hand. And we're going to hop back over to Alara. And Alara, you can see Vega. Vega has drawn his weapon and has stopped and seems to be looking up at the ceiling. As you sort of come round, you feel hazy, like to get back up. You stagger slightly, but you feel like revitalized again.
What do you see?
And Vega, can you make a perception check, please, to see if you can hear Alara? Yeah, you're in your ship, and you can hear that cracking of this nail slowly coming through as you're readying your gun, as you can see all of this. And you hear Alara's voice. What do you see as you come through?
It's a graveyard of ships. Some sort of... Is that you clawing to get in?
88, wake up.
Hold on.
Wake up.
I'm on the bridge of the ship.
No, you're not. Wake up.
I gotta see this for a second. And I'm just gonna pan one more view across everything to see if I missed anything in this battle, in this space battle.
Okay. Roll me a perception check, please.
Okay. I've seen it all. I got it down.
I was like, nah, I'm out. No,
Well,
you
the
look.
ship
You
is
look
out
around.
dating.
You see all of that. You see all the stuff you saw before, and you still see that Alpha 88 on the side of what looks to be was a big ship, not a small fighter like
Okay.
you have now.
I'm gonna say, I know. I'm getting up now. And I'm gonna shoot that thing to see if I can injure it.
Yeah. You fight. You shoot upwards. Could you roll me a wisdom save, please?
Great.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh, dear.
You fire upwards, and you snap back as you do, and you hear this screech, and Alara, you look up at the ceiling at this tentacle that just drops, sort of steams a little bit, where Vega has actually fired his gun up into the air and collapses on the floor. You're still awake, Vega, but you feel nauseous. Like, you feel really, really nauseous. But you can see Alara. You are back by, Alara, you can see him right by that button where he'd hit the button and the gangplank has gone down. It's like he looked like he'd gone to go there and had not quite made it.
Did I see the tentacle fall as well?
It's more that it lands next to you as you fall.
Okay, is it moving at all, or is it just there?
It's looks like it's come off something not big, but it's obviously fallen off of something where you've shot it, and it's just smoking and slowly curling up, not actually, doing anything.
Alara, we gotta get this thing off the ship.
Yeah, I'd be running up towards him and hitting the button and grabbing him to go down the gangplank together.
Yeah, you can help Vega, and Vega with Alara's lifting you up on one side, you can get down to the gangplank, and yeah, go on.
I'm sorry. So as she's pulling me, can I get the radio comms on?
Yeah, radio comms now seem to be working again.
Everybody, evacuate the ship. Everybody off the ship. Cracklebox, let's go.
And Andy and Blister, you both hear this come through as you're coming round. You hear Vega's voice sort of yelling over the system.
Can't just abandon Argo.
Listen to him now.
Yeah, that was business voice. Oh shit, I said that when I had my fucking hand on the comm. Alright,
Nice.
I'm on the way. I was just about to make big upgrades. Alright.
Let me know when I see the bird guy.
Okay. Blister, you can run off. You still have Telemachus effectively attached, like hog-tied to you as you go running forward. What are you doing, Andy?
If this like brought me to, brought me awake, then I'm looking to see if the claw hand is still in its tube, and I'm looking to see if the tentacle is still coming in.
The tentacle seems to, there seems to be a tiny bit left. You can see a Wizmo waving like a pipette at it, like trying to just knock it back. But the hand is still in this tube, and it's just there bobbing.
Okay. It doesn't look like it's come out of out of containment. Okay. Then I guess I'm leaving. I'm leaving the ship.
Yeah, you can run and you can see Blister coming the other side. Telemachus effectively tied to his back as you run out. And you can all run out of the ship. And Vega and Alara, you can see this bird-like creature actually approaching you. It's just like, I'm afraid we seem to have had a contamination. We would ask you to go port side, and gestures everything until we can have this contamination under control.
What you're calling a contamination is attacking us.
Is nobody off the ship? Do I not see anybody off the ship yet?
You can see Blister and Andy coming out with Telemachus attached to that. You see this train of Wizmos following.
How about the doctor?
Doctor is coming out. George is coming out. He looks very hazy, but he's definitely staggering out.
Do we see anything on the outside of the ship?
You do see these very small, almost octopus-like creatures that are attached to parts of the ship, and you can see where the access to the vents and the fuel and the things are. You can see those gnomes are back, and this time they're wearing these little suits, so they're trying to get them off the side of the ship. And this eagle-like creature sort of looks towards you. We're not too sure where the contamination came from, but enhanced squids can cause problems.
Are there any on any of the other ships around us? It's literally just our ship?
You can see that on other ships there's other gnomes, there's other dwarfs, they're all on there, they're on all of the other ships, and they seem to be trying to get rid of them. You can see there's another ship down the way that looks to be it looks more run down than Argo. That's what this one looks like. And it looks like someone is yelling at this person. And this eagle-like creature again looks forward. I'm afraid someone brought it in. They spread quickly. And you can see one of these squid-like octopus things just split and become two. They move pretty quick. We're going into lockdown.
Where can I find information on reports of what these things have done to people? Your sick bays, your intelligence on them?
We do have sick bays. We have information desks. You can find things at the port. What is it you seek to learn about them?
What other people experienced while being on the ship with those things? What they do? Is it going to kill is it going to kill the ship's AI? Is it a long-term effect? Are there domino effects? Am I going to throw up? Am I going to melt to a puddle of mud?
Please, sir, they do not. It sort of pauses. They will not destroy your ship's AI. It merely drains them of the energy, like giving them a jump start. They feed off energy. They feed off electricity. This is merely a side effect of them feeding. They're called enhanced squids because they can either enhance memories or dreams. They're never entirely accurate, I'm afraid. But people use them in recreational use. They make good drinks, I'm told. They're any sort of like their ink. And he does seem like you can assume that he looks more concerned than he was, but it's very difficult to tell on this man's face. You can see he's taking it very seriously. But at the end of the day, it's a big bird, and he doesn't know how to portray. Like it's like he's struggling almost to produce that sort of emotion. He's like, "Please, complimentary stay at any hotel of your choosing."
I know just the place. Can you make reservations at Stargazer room 37 for me, please?
I'm sure you can use one of the panels, and it sort of gestures to you through one of the sides, and you can see lots of people now lining up at these panels that seem to be doing the same. You can see people look pretty miffed about it. They don't look happy. Some of them look very nauseous. They don't, seems to be a side effect that you feel sick afterwards as well. You do see Andy come running out. You see these Wismos come tearing down, as well as George. You also see Blister with Telemachus tied to his back. Would you have taken the weapon, Blister, or?
Yes, I would, but I have an important question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have dreadlocks?
Yes.
Hey.
Oh.
I'm gonna, how far away are those terminals from us?
Not that far. You just need to pass through the scanner again.
Are they within 30 feet, though, would you say?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So I'm going to kneel down and go, Laura, I think there's something on your shoe. And I'm going to hack one of those terminals and try to take it from whoever's in line.
Yeah. Roll a sleight of hand check for me.
Okay.
Yeah, you can hack the terminal and you can book rooms for everyone if that's what you're
I'm going to book room 37, 38,
Mhm.
39, 40, and 41 for us.
Yep, you can easily book all of those and go straight in.
Okay. And then I'm going to look for my little Wismo buddy before I go any further.
Yeah, he seems to be right by your feet. He didn't seem to move very far from you at all. Telemachus is starting to wake up, Blister, and you can just hear it. What the hell is this? Like looking down as she's effectively attached to you.
Yeah, Alara would have been running over the second she saw the two of them coming out, and Telemachus sort of strapped on.
Yeah.
I thought we were being attacked or something. I needed my hands free and she was asleep.
No,
You tied me up! Like, she's literally holding this with the cable ties.
you did the right thing. If it was anything like what I experienced, you did the right thing. Just as long as you're both safe.
I got us 5 rooms at the Stargazer for the evening. Some of us might have to double up. I'll take the Wismos of the doctor. I don't care.
Lister and I can share a room.
I guess they seem to have us under control.
You can see a lot of gnomes, dwarfs, the odd elf here and there with these sticks. Like they're trying to get, like, these seem to be like nets, but the nets are blue themselves. And when they finally get one in there, it's like it closes off into a bag and these things can't move. It's like a static, almost electrical thing. And you see them like popping them in like big buckets going around. Some people, some of the dwarfs you see have this spray that they're going around and just spraying all the ships with.
Hey, look,
I'm going to turn to the bird guy again if I could.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you have adequate measures to make sure there's no stowaways, scanners.
Of course.
And
Standard procedure.
that little chip that came in our shipment, that's still going to function okay? Do I require a new one?
It should be fine. They would have been drawn more to your ship equipment rather than something as small as that. It would feed them for less than a second.
Okay, we'll be staying at the Stargazer.
And it's sort of, you see him rip this ticket and it's like, for your collection.
My collection?
To collect your ship once it's done.
Oh, give it to Commander Alara, if you would, please.
Commander, and sort of hands it out.
I'm going to put my hand down for Cracklebox to roll up.
Yep, he rolls up.
And I'll pass you the thing. scanner.
You can.
All right.
Alara would look to Blister. Are you okay?
Depends. Were you chased by weird clawed tall things like what was back at Area 51 when you fell asleep?
I was back in a tube with Greenway.
Okay. I don't know which one's worse. I was in a pub. We all need to talk. I was in a pub. We all need to talk, but somewhere quiet.
Yes, definitely. Let's.
I turn and say, I thought we were going to talk over there. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Let's go. Let's go to the hotel and debrief.
You can all head.
Alara would also look for Andy at that point too, just to make sure.
Yeah, Andy's out there with you.
Yeah, you can all walk through the port. It seems to be very busy now. You can see the hotel's definitely looking more full. There's probably a lot of ships. You guess it was probably only your sector where your ship came in. You know, there's lots of other ports and stuff like that. But you can head in. You can check in. There's like a hotel lounge, like lobby thing, but there's also obviously the rooms. Where would you all go?
I'm gonna.
Is walking around with a flamethrower going to be a problem?
Yeah, it's probably going to be a little bit of a problem.
I tell people it's a leaf blower.
Okay, persuasion. Because, you know, a leaf blower in space is so necessary.
Yeah.
It's so necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
boy.
really hope you get a nat 20.
No advantages. Opinion.
You get a lot of funny looks. They allow you to pass, but you can guess you're probably going to be questioned by it again soon.
Going around, I'm sort of going, oh yes, I just go and tidy up this pub.
Maybe easier if we go into the room and you can put that down and not draw attention to us.
All right. Yep. Sorry.
Can you let me know when we're within 30 feet of the check-in of the hotel?
Oh yeah, you've already been there. Yeah.
Okay, so at the Stargazer, so I'm going to try to hack their system now and book the private room that I guess I would book every year.
Oh, you've already booked it?
No, not the bedroom, but remember I had the business meeting?
Oh, the business meeting room. Yeah, no, I'd say if you've already done it on the system, you'd be able to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll tell everybody, I have this private room that I used to have meetings at in this hotel. I booked it again, but I have to check the hotel room for something first. The room 37 is where I'll be staying, and I can give everybody their key codes. We're all in the same hall.
You need any help?
You know what? I could use your help if you want to join me, Andy.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, there's some great souvenir shops. If you want to see anything, you need to have a chance to go exploring yesterday. But this place is pretty phenomenal.
Blister and I will go get settled with Telemachus.
Aye.
You can. So Vega, what are you looking for in your room when you arrive into your room?
When I walk in, I'm actually going to ask. So Andy, if you would, I want you to go around that edge of the bed there, and on the floor there's some trim, and I want you to tell me how many score marks are made in that trim, and if they're vertical or horizontal.
Okay, that's not unusual at all.
I know. I'm sorry. I will explain. I promise.
There,
I can do it.
Yeah, you can go and have a look. Give him like a weird look because you go over.
Yeah, she's
You're
gonna go
the help.
And you see 2 score marks, the same as when you looked before. 2 score marks.
2.
Do you see any other score marks along the trim around any of these bedrooms? If you were in this room before and you don't remember being here, and you were going to mark your presence, so I guess I'm looking for a second perspective. What would you do?
I mean, I'm smaller than you, so I couldn't reach high places. I feel like tall people would do tall people things, because then, I couldn't find that. But, like, I would do something, like, down here. And she, like, goes down, like, under the bed.
Yeah, you go and look under the bed. There doesn't seem to be anything there. No more marks, no nothing. Just a regular bed.
Yeah, nothing here. I, like, look around, like, do a loop around the bed. Nothing. Yep.
All right.
Just those two.
Okay. And I'm gonna stare at the window again, and I'm gonna close my eyes and have that vision of what I saw last time I was in here. So that myself, the Wismo that doesn't look like any particular Wismo I've seen before. Just try to concentrate on a second, see if anything else comes to light on it.
Yeah. The only thing that happens is that the screen changes again and again, but nothing happens.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get us some refreshments for that business room. I guess if you want to get settled in, I'd give you your key card. I don't know what room it is, but it's one of these. And as I walk out into the hall, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna head down and get some refreshments, and I'll meet you guys down there after you're all settled in.
Okay. Wander off.
Okay. What about Blister and Alara? What are you up to?
Probably getting settled in the... Which room do you want? 38, 39?
Yeah. 39, I guess.
Alright, so we're getting settled in 39. So, those things, supposedly they enhance dreams or memories.
What things?
Those things on top of the ships, the infestation.
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't know about you, but something rather odd happened while they were on the ship.
Yes. I got chased by monsters. I ended up running to the docks.
All right.
But
What else did you see?
before I went, I saw me in a pub.
Like Aberdeen?
Like Aberdeen. Exactly like Aberdeen.
So there were two of us.
Well, just two
But
of me.
you.
I was talking to Vega.
Vega went with you, or Vega was with your...
Like, past Vega. Okay, so from now on, if I say Blister, I mean me. If I say Blister, I mean past Blister. Vega means Vega, but Vega just means Vega.
I
Past
understand.
Vega. Right. So, Vega said to Blister, and Blister was out of it. He was a mess.
Well, Blister.
Anyway, Vega says to Blister, look, I need you to remember this, pal. And he's like falling over and being an idiot. And he's like, I need you to remember this because I won't. And then I accidentally threw a glass across the room.
That sounds about right.
And that made Blister fall off his chair. And then an alien thing got up instead of Blister. And so I grabbed a shotgun off the wall and blew its head off, but no one reacted in the bar. So I legged it, grabbing glasses on the way, as you do, you know, just in case. And suddenly these creatures are everywhere, and then people start panicking. And they were like climbing the walls and stuff. It was like The Mummy Returns.
That's a good movie. But I know what you mean. That's an interesting bit, though, about Vega. Not Vega, but Vega.
I don't think Vega has any recollection of his past.
No, I don't
And I think he
does
might have known me before, you know.
So
well,
Vega, your Blister.
Well, Vega doesn't know Blister, but Vega might have known Blister.
Right. I woke up in the tube, and there was Greenway, along with someone from the place we were just at, where we were helping get the files. Vega get the files. Greenway came up to the tube and put his hand on the tube and said to me in the tube, I'm not going to let them get you, cutie.
Hang on
We
a
were
minute,
talking-
isn't he a bad guy?
Well, that's what I thought. Daddy Dearest wasn't exactly the man I wanted to... Anyways. They were talking about his experiments and working with him, and it was just... It was like being back to where it was before, where felt like I was underwater and stuck, and then finding out everything we did.
Hey, I got pulled underwater too. Something dragged me onto the water.
We might want to write this down.
Oh, actually, I've got tons of, like, paper. They're all really small, and they've got, like, faded print on them, but we could probably, like... Why do people give you these?
In case you want to return something.
Hey, you guys want booze, hard liquor, or water?
Take water, please.
Beer.
Cheese platter, crackers, burgers, dinners, entrees.
She'd
steak.
mute it.
What do you got? Whatever you want, let me know. I'm ordering now.
Right, so we'll keep this in mind. It was said that these aren't necessarily accurate, but it is a little concerning. Maybe we should find out what the others saw too.
Hey, maybe we should have a chat with Vega. Keep Vega
Maybe
on
not.
board.
Yeah, maybe not reveal everything Blister went through and Alara went through.
Hang on a minute. So don't tell him about our dreams, but see what his dreams are like.
Glaze over what we have so far.
He might not remember. I mean, he might not remember that he knows us. We could like unlock hidden memories. It could be like something out of one of the movies, you know, when they see like a dragonfly float on a butterfly or something, and then suddenly they're like, oh hell, I remember everything. It was my father who did all this.
Yeah, that's the concern. We want to make sure we don't open the floodgates.
Don't open the floodgates.
At least not until we get a better handle of what's going on.
Don't open the floodgates. Got it.
Or should I tell you to open the floodgates and then you won't?
Generally, gates just open up around me.
Yeah, that's the problem. Let's not reveal everything all at once, is all I'm saying.
Alright, but a conversation, definitely.
Definitely.
So, are you heading down to the meeting room? Okay. You can start heading down to the meeting room. And Andy, what are you doing?
I feel like Andy's just walking around kind of like in a daze. But definitely still, if there's any like interesting people, just like staring at them. Not even like hiding it now. And then just like continuing walking. It's
Okay.
just like,
Can you roll a perception check for them, please, as you wander around?
oh. No.
Okay, you're wandering around. You heard the call come through from Vega to go meet at the meeting room, and you can wander for a bit. You see a lot of amoeboids staying here. A lot of elves seem to be staying here. Some humans and stuff like that. There's a real mix here. They're walking up and down the corridor. You can see one of them that looks. There's a lot of families here as well. However, you do see a lot of businessmen and businesswomen sort of walking around. But as you're wandering, you can leave your room, you can leave whatever you want in there and move about and head towards this meeting room. And you can probably meet Alara and Blister on the way. Vega, would you already be in the room?
I would be in trying to set everything. I'm assuming the food's there, so I'd be trying to set.
Okay.
I'm trying to show a kinder side, so I'm trying to set everything up, put the napkins down, and trying to get instead of like help yourself.
Yeah, you can all walk into this room where Vega's set up what looks a little bit like a buffet, almost in a half a panic, half a can't help the business side of it sort of thing. And you see this long table that stretches. It is literally a conference room. And big windows looking out into space.
I'm gonna put Cracklebox down on the windowsill, stick his little Elvis doll, and be like, I just need you to behave now for a couple minutes, little buddy. And then I'm gonna sit at the table and pour a drink, like a whole bottle of like hard liquor, and start doing shots.
And Blister, you do have Wismos following you.
Awesome.
They are sort of following you. So they're not necessarily trailing after you like Mother Duck as you're in the this is like a free-for-all for them. You know that not all of them are with you. Some are going to be in the hotel somewhere. But there's a fair few.
I don't pretend to have control over them, not really. Yeah, well, I'll go and pour myself a glass of water.
You can all arrive and you sit down in this business room.
So you guys began to share that you had some sort of vision with those suction cup things, and the dock master there had told us what they were.
Yeah, it was a little unsettling, and pouring a shot of the strongest stuff possible while saying it.
Well, you guys risked yourselves to help me, and I'm pretty sure that you are the bus ride I was looking for now. So I'm gonna share some information with you all, and then I'll tell you my vision, and you can feel free to move that as well. But as an extension of trust and goodwill and support and friendship, where I'm from, I'm not sure, but civilization is dying off. And I was sent back to do something to start a chain reaction that would fix it. The problem is I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So when I said I have to go towards that Titan's grave, it was the first thing I saw, so I had to go to it, right? Because I can't miss an opportunity. When I said I had to go to that place to get the information from the terminal, it was an opportunity. The problem is before I left, the only thing I know is that I can't remember things of time travel jumping because they were afraid, whoever sent me back, that it would influence the decisions I make. So when I said I couldn't share things with you, it wasn't because I was trying to be secretive. I was just afraid that would be sharing information that could then lead you to overthink things like I do and then spoil it. I've been here many times. I've been to that room 37 once a year, almost every day, or almost to the day for the last couple of years. And when I showed up yesterday before we went to the information terminal, the lady had told me, oh yeah, your visit's right around this time of year. You were here about a year ago. So Andy, when you saw the notches in the wall, I was going to go notch the wall to try to remember. And when I did, when I looked down, there was already one notch there in a different location. So I notched it next to it. That's why you saw 2. I was just wondering if you would see, we're going to see 3, 1, 4. I know staying in room 37 and showing up on a ship in Area 51 on Argo 37 is not a coincidence. I know that this Wismo being taken to me is not a coincidence because I've experienced Wismos before. So I get these little flashbacks of things when I see stuff. And I know that my call sign, Alpha 88, even though it was earned at Area 51 before we met, was actually something I carried for a long time. And I believe it was the name of a massive ship that I owned, like a Star Freighter size ship. After I downloaded the information I did from the terminal from Astrogation Inc., I heard the same voice in my head as if we passed through those scanners, as if that scanner had updated because it said welcome back Vega Reigns when I first passed through it, when we first got here. After I downloaded all the information when we caused that fiasco yesterday, that same voice was in my head as if this whole space station updated, and it said, welcome back Alpha 88. Now, I haven't listened to that information yet. And truth be told, I pulled all the logs on Argo 37 as well because, let's face it, Blister, you caused a hell of a distraction.
I mean, well, you know, it just happens around me usually.
So, I had a gut feeling I wasn't supposed to listen to it. And now after experiencing what I just did, I think I'm supposed to. And I think I'm supposed to share it with all of you all. So, but I'd like to hear some of the things you experienced as I'm putting things together. And I pull out like my notepad with all this information on it, this little log. And because that just happened, I want to hear about that first before we listen to this, because we haven't listened to this yet. So if you listen to this, I want to do it in the stages as things happened. So to experience what we just did and then listen to this is not the chronological order, I believe. Maybe I'm just overthinking it.
Lara, I think we should tell him.
If you want, I'll tell you what I saw first, or if you want to go first. But I just
All right, no, you go first, and then we should tell you.
Agreed.
So I saw something of the future, not the past, because Cracklebox was with me. It wasn't the Wizmo from the past, it was Cracklebox. And I was in the Starfighter that I stole, that we know is a classic. So where I'm from, it wouldn't have existed at this point. And everything around me was a massive, massive, massive space battle, and everything was destroyed. Massive ships were destroyed. It was just a space graveyard. And I saw this. Did you say gigantic, Alice? Can I describe it as gigantic?
Oh, yeah.
Gigantic piece. Like it was ripped off the ship, which means one of these monsters couldn't have done it that we saw. It was humongous. And it said Alpha 88 on it, like it was the name of the ship. Then I saw the thing crawling on my canopy. It was scraping and scratching. I was bleeding, I don't know from where. And then that's when I heard you calling to me, Commander. And when I realized that I was listening to both worlds at once, I almost kind of felt like I should be on this ship right now. That's why I said, give me a second. I wanted to shoot this thing and see what happened. So thanks for pulling me out of that. And that's really all I saw there.
All right, I'll go next.
Makes the most sense.
Vega, I went back to 1996.
Ace of Base. I saw the sun. Yeah, good song.
Right. I was in a bar in Aberdeen. I saw myself in the bar in Aberdeen talking to you. I snuck closer so I could have a listen in, and I was pretty out of it, but you were telling me that you needed me to remember something because you knew you wouldn't remember.
What did I say?
Well, about that time monsters attacked and stuff and it all went to hell. But it seems like you knew me in the past.
1996?
1996.
Did I look compared to...
1996, according to one of the other bar people, who was a bit strange. Even by my standards.
Did we look like we did right now?
No.
Were we old men? Were we kids?
Young. I was probably 10, 15 years younger. But Vega looked young too, right? You look younger too.
Andy, what did you see?
I have a question for Alice.
Yes.
Do I know John Greenway and his connection to Alara? Or do I have no idea who this person was?
You don't know the connection, but you recognize the face. You had seen it on videos and stuff.
Would I know his name?
You did find his name. Well, at least you knew Greenway.
I was back on the planet that we were on, where we were scrapping for metal, and then the monsters came out at dark.
Remember
And
that well.
yeah, and I tried looking for Argo, but Argo was down. And then I looked up and I saw my aunt talking to some Greenway guy, and just telling him she had to shut all his stuff down because he caused it. He caused all that. And then they came out and they got me, and it went dark. That's what happened. And then one of the Wismos woke me up, luckily. Thanks, little guy.
And
You
now
said
my
you
turn.
saw your. Can I ask you where you saw your aunt at? Like, where were you?
It was a planet that me and Blister and Alara were on before. When we had some problems with Argo. And we had to go scrapping for materials. And it turned out this whole planet had been everyone on the planet was gone. There were only these sort of mutated life forms left that came out at dark. Alice, would I be able to think on it now and compare them? Would they have been the husks back then and now?
You wouldn't have said they were the husks. You wouldn't have said that. You definitely saw the dripping black ichor. However,
Yeah.
you could line some similar features.
Yeah.
If anything, it's like the things you saw looked more humanoid than the husks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was like it was like biologically altered people monsters. Not unlike the husks, but different.
Well,
So,
I woke back up in the test tube, essentially. I didn't exactly come around here naturally. I'm a genetic experiment created by my father, John Greenway.
Didn't she mention Greenway as well? Andy?
She did.
You said that you were a clone. So that means you have to be a clone of yourself. Where's your original?
Oh, no, I'm the original. There are others.
Are you sure you're the original?
Pretty sure. There are different permutations that Greenway created, trying to create the perfect specimen.
Trying to recreate the perfect specimen.
Because the original Alara died, if we remember.
Yeah, but she didn't say that, right? She said she's the original Lara.
Oh no, I'm the original genetic experiment of Alara. There was another Alara, his biological daughter. Some of her genetic makeup is in me.
Where is she at?
Scratticus. She's, as far as we know, not here anymore.
It's got pretty messy towards the end.
Who'd your father work for, if you don't mind me asking? He couldn't have done all that by himself in a lab.
Well, that seems to be more questions than I have answers to.
If I pry too much, just tell me. It's okay.
Oh, it's fine. Last we saw him, he was... well, not in a good way.
What else do you remember of your vision, of your vision or dream, if you don't mind me asking?
He was younger. He was talking with someone from... what is it? I forget the name of the other company.
Astrogations.
Astrogations.
Astrogations Inc.
Yes. And they wanted his projects. And he had somehow caught my trying to break out of the tube, even though I couldn't control the body. At least it seemed that way. And he had put his hand up on the tube and said he wasn't going to let them have me.
Is there anything else that you want to share? Anything else that you saw? Do you remember what year it was? Was there anybody else there?
I don't recall seeing a year. I don't recall any details like that. He did leave. The other one came back in and looked the tube over as well. And quite frankly, the rest has gotten a little bit muddled.
You said he was from Astrogations, or they were the ones shutting him down?
They were the ones seeking him out.
Because my aunt was really focused on a hologram of theirs.
Of Astrogation Inc.?
Yeah.
So here is the connections. We all saw some sort of monster. You and I, Andy, experienced something where there was a bunch of people that was dead, like a mass catastrophe, space battle on a planet. You both experienced things revolving around Astrogation Inc. You said your aunt was trying to shut him down. And Alara, you said that Astrogation Inc. was trying to get you from your father. And he said, I wouldn't let him take you. Blister, the only connection you have to any of this is the monsters and then me being in 1996 with you. Was there any...
I mean, I was, I kind of stumbled across them really in space. Commander Alara was in one of the tubes in Argo. Came out and we found Telemachus together. It's kind of a weird coincidence, actually, that because Telemachus wasn't originally on Argo, but Alara was.
Oh, and Argo was destroyed in both of our visions, Andy. So, Alice, can I ask you a question? When you said there was 3 claw marks horizontal on some of those ship pieces, does that replicate the 3 stripes that's on the Astrogation Inc.'s logo? Okay.
I have a question. Alice, you said when I woke up I still had scratches?
Yep.
Do I still have, if I hold out my arm now, do I still have them?
Yes.
I do that then.
They're not like scratches on your arm, it's like tears on your sleeve.
Are my fingertips still bleeding? Any scars or any marks on them? No scabs?
Nothing.
It seems like if they could get their hands on us in our visions, they could affect us in when we were all under a trance on the ship. And then if we got to them, so there should be another one that Blister shot with a shotgun on the ship somewhere. What was the last thing you remember being on Argo 37, Blister, before you faded out a little bit?
I was wandering into the kitchen with Telemachus, cable tied to my back, and my new flamethrower.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
It looks like a leaf blower to me.
Is there anything in here that we can just burn? I'll show you how it works.
No.
We're not setting the building on fire.
Can I detect surveillance devices in the room? I think I can do that with my gauntlet.
Yeah, roll again like a sleight of hand.
So detect surveillance devices within 30 feet. Okay.
Okay. There doesn't seem to be a surveillance device.
Okay. All right, perfect. Is that like open-ended? Do I see anything else or no?
You can roll a perception check if you want.
Okay. Yeah, that's all. I don't see anything.
No, you don't. What you don't see, that none of you see, is the person that looks in through the door and walks by again in a spacesuit. and continues walking down the corridor. They don't stay very long, but they have a quick look inside. And we'll leave Argo there this week.
Wait, I just spotted the time. Wow.
Holy crap!
Oh boy, you know, one of my favorite parts of this session today was when Todd started asking really detailed questions, and I just saw this little smile appear on Alice's face. Oh no. Oh no. This is going to be great. I'm looking forward to this so much. Right, well, we have credits, so we'll be outroing with credits. We'll also be heading over to the Discord, where we'll talk about the things that we have experienced today. And also, please check out our other closing links. Discord is the second link to come up from the bot. All the other things are there as well. You can come and interact with us, find us, communicate with us. Check out our sponsors as well. Mage Hand Prayers, who made this expansion for 5e in Dark Matter, and also Bird in the Storm Publishing. Please do check them out. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back in a couple of hours. Is it a couple of hours or is it 1 hour? Couple of hours. Couple of hours with Through Hells and Back, which is a fun game where I play an innocent churchgoer going through hell. We'll be back at the same time next week for more Argo 37. Till then, keep on evoking emotions. See you later.
Bye.